So, Paul, what was going on during that crash?
I was falling on my face. I was going up to these jumps and hitting this line. I had it all planned out, and the front flip was pretty easy. That's my trick. But just had too much speed, and I'd take off the lip and just kept rotating because the ground didn't come. And next thing I know, I'm being carried down on a sled. They told me to remember 3 words: moose, Twix, and astronaut. I could never do it. And then I woke up in an hospital talking to my mom. She explained to me I had a concussion.
What are some of the symptoms that you experienced during your concussion?
Yeah, after the concussion, I couldn't see straight. The only way I could focus was by going like that. And you're just dizzy, you're confused, kind of don't really know what's going on or where you're at. And yeah, even your memory's pretty shot, and you're just kind of slow, just dragging. So my friends would kind of call to me and say, like, "Hey, Paul," and about 2 or 3 seconds later, then I'd turn. So you're just kind of like, everything's on slow. Yeah, concussions are a pretty common head trauma, and I learned that they happen in a lot of different sports and stuff like that, but basically your head is or your brain is crashing up against your skull and bruising it, and because of the forces going on in there, if you hit the front of your head, it also bruises the back of your head, and that's why I couldn't see even though I hit the front of my head. But with that, some of the membranes are torn in your brain, and can leave room for free radicals to come in, and because your immune response is delayed, and so one of the things they told me is, you really can't do anything that would put your head at risk of another concussion, because then death is just a lot easier, because your brain is just in such a fragile state. Free radical is basically a reactive oxygen species that plays in excess, when there's a lot of them, play a pretty significant role in tissue damage and cell death, and are basically just bad for any part of the body. And your body has a natural response to get rid of them, but when the body's natural function and capability of doing that is impaired, a lot more damage can happen, and that's just kind of what happens with concussions when they're pretty bad. It just leaves that the brain vulnerable to all kinds of different attacks from things that are even further than just bruising and an impairment of normal cell function. So a cool thing that some studies are finding in concussions is that because of these free radicals being present, that wasn't previously known, a possible treatment during this can be just a high consumption of antioxidants in the body. So that comes from natural sources and other places too, but they just basically soak up free radicals and get them out of your body. So especially with the brain as it's recovering and as a prevention kind of a thing, it's a really important aspect of having a concussion and being treated for it.